since I've done a live stream on the channel here. Had a few moments this Saturday. My incredible wife is watching our kiddos in the other room. And frankly, I'm just in a good mood. I just thought I'd go ahead and give it a shot. I'm sure a lot of people are busy with plans, but I thought I would just start talking. And if anyone's able to jump in, great. If not, hope to catch you on the replay. So a while ago, I talked about some of my favorite writers, predominantly for Marvel Comics, then DC Comics. Now I thought I'd go ahead and transition to some of my favorite comic book artists. So these are just a couple, obviously in such a visual medium. It's really hard to narrow down like favorite comic book not writers, comic book artists. But these are just a couple of my favorite, and I thought I would just go ahead and start talking about it. And then as people start to trickle in, of course, if you have questions for me, I'm happy to dialogue or kind of try to answer those questions live. And we'll just see how long we do. I'm not sure how long we're going to be doing this, but I'm really excited to talk about it a little bit today. As you can see, my live stream setup still needs a bit of work, but bear with me. I'm really enjoying this so far with all of you. So why don't we go ahead and start with the paperbacks first, because they're floppy and are likely to fall. In fact, I might go ahead and go like this for now. So my favorite comic book illustrator, I am such a sucker for Jim Lee. I know I've read some of his X-Men, I've read some of his Justice League artwork, which I have that omnibus down below here a little bit. But my favorite art from Jim Lee is, oh, sup, Lagging Leland. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by the live stream. But yeah, my favorite art from Jim Lee is in the pages of this book here, Batman Hush. David Nakayama. Oh, I don't know if I know that comic artist. Can you recommend anything from David Nakayama? I'd like to check that out. But yeah, Batman Hush, for those that haven't read, from the pages of Batman, of course. This is one of my favorite story arcs ever. It's written by the incredible Jeff Loeb. He teamed up with Tim Sale, of course, for these Batman epics, which we'll get to, because Tim Sale is another one of my favorite artists. But Jim Lee's art here, to me, is just next level. I think all the character models are really fleshed out and interesting. I like that we get these flashback sequences that kind of have more of a painted, oversaturated look. I just think it looks really great. Does comic covers. Oh, okay, no problem. I'll take a look. David Nakayama. I'll have to take a note for that. Thank you so much for the recommendation. Always love hearing about new comic creators I'm not familiar with. But yeah, Jim Lee here, for whatever reason, he just completely spellbound me with this book. I love how he depicted Batman and some of these characters. I had just never seen them as vibrant, alive, interesting. And I'm a big Jim Lee fan before, during, and since I have read this. But for me, nothing has matched what we got here artistically from Jim Lee. I adore it. The line work, the facial expressions, I think just everything is top notch. I think Hush in particular has like this kind of polish to it too that I just really love. Like, oh, look at this, Batman and Catwoman. Yeah, it just works for me. I love Jim Lee. I couldn't do a favorite artist thing without talking about Jim Lee because I am just such a fan. Can we see that Moon Knight omnibus? I will be talking about that Moon Knight omnibus because David Finch, who does some artwork on that, one of my favorite artists as well. So we will get there. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, it's the Spidey fan. Hi, thanks for tuning in. So that's Jim Lee. Of course, I've seen a lot of other stuff illustrated by him. I had the chance to meet him briefly at a kind of comic signing thing recently. Did a video on that not too long ago. For those interested. Next artist we're going to be talking about, David Maleev. Or Alex Maleev. Oh my gosh, David from Finch. I got wire crossed. Alex Maleev. He's the illustrator for a lot of Brian Michael Bendis' run on Daredevil. And to me, it's just incredible. I mean, it's gritty. Gotta go. Sorry. No problem, Lagging Leland. Thanks for stopping in. If you catch the replay, I will be looking at that Moon Knight omnibus in a little bit. Yeah, here we go. So we got some art here from Alex Maleev. Just love it. This is what introduced me to this incredible artist. It's just gritty, it's dark. We have so much like sketch work and line work here from the penciling. It's just so evocative and interesting to me. And having him do kind of these more gritty, crime, noir looking kind of runs, I just think it's just perfect. It's pitch perfect for the kind of storytelling that we get a lot of the times. This run, incidentally, this is volume 2 of the Ultimate Collection's paperbacks. There's 3 of these for the Bendis run, or 2 omnibus editions. This is actually my favorite run on Daredevil I've had the pleasure of reading, and it's a large part because of this incredible art. I'm just such a huge fan. Alex Maleev has, of course, done other work as well, but this, for me, this put him on the map for me. This made me such a huge fan for life. like I said, especially when he's doing more crime-centric books, it just really works. So anyway, this is Alex Maleev. Oh, this is my favorite Daredevil cover from this run, actually, for issue 62. Gosh, I just love it. They are reprinting the first Bendis omnibus in a couple months. I think in August it's scheduled, maybe. So if you don't have the Bendis run and you're interested, check it out. I think they're also doing a modern epic collection that may have already come out. I'm not totally clear. Okay, my favorite artist has to be Todd McFarlane. We will get there, my friend. Yep, I have Todd McFarlane. I have his Spider-Man to showcase it just because his art there is incredible. I'll get to that in a couple minutes. I'm super happy to hear we have some other Todd McFarlane fans up in here. But for me, this is another one. I just want to talk about Gilliam March. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that right. Gilliam March, I'm familiar as a Batman artist. I would love more recommendations for his work because I think it's incredible. This is what really introduced me to this artist. This is the first run, they're the first story arc on James Tynion and the Fourth's Batman run. He did, of course, do a whole Detective Comics run. I don't know if you can see it right here. Boo, boo, boo. Really great run from what I've read so far. But when he jumped over to Batman, this is the first story arc, their Dark Designs. It's like Batman versus a bunch of assassins, Batman versus kind of a mysterious architect of crime, some great flashbacks. But the art for me, the art is just unreal. I love it. Even look how he does the smoke. I just think it looks so cool. Great action stuff here. Just love it. Like, look at that Batman. Really cool stuff. Yeah, really creepy version of the Riddler. But yeah, like, yeah, so this is Gilliam March. Like I said, I don't know much of his other work beyond this Batman run, but I was just enchanted by this whole thing. Incidentally, this is actually my favorite high point of the Tynion era on Batman itself. I liked Fear State, I liked Joker War and some of those other books, Ghost Stories, but for me, the high mark was actually this first story, Their Dark Designs. For whatever reason, I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, but I think this is such a fun story. But yeah, the art, I'll showcase it for another moment, and then I'm happy to move forward. But yeah, so this is Gilliam March. Like I said, this is more of a recent one for me. I just read this Tynion era in the last couple years, but it really put this creator on the map for me. I love the artwork. I think it's, yeah, good stuff. Let's look back at the chat. Do you have any comics by Matt Wagner, like Batman and the Monster Men? You know, that is a great question. I love Matt Wagner, another writer / illustrator. I do have Batman and the Monster Men and the direct sequel, Batman and the Mad Monk. I didn't put this on here, but honestly, I love it. I love it. The artwork here. This is another one I could easily showcase. Look at that. Amazing. Anyway, I actually did review Batman and the Monster Men on the channel. Commenter, let's see, Flight Reacts 23. If you're interested, I did do a full review of this volume some time ago. You can find it on my channel or my Batman playlist. Have not yet reviewed this one. I was actually rereading it, as you can see my bookmark there. But some great stories here. These are top of the shelf Batman books for me. Really like it. But yeah, that's Matt Wagner. Some of the stuff he did on Batman, he did some other stuff too, but that's what I have collected currently. That's actually so dope. Awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, you know, they've been pretty expensive. There was also a collection hardcover, I think standard size, for Batman by Matt Wagner that I think collected some of those. But honestly, he's due for some reprints, so hopefully we see that because some of the prices for those are obscene. I just happened to buy them while they were still in print like a decade ago. Okay, let's see. Oh, I missed a comment. Thoughts on the New 52 Batman? Oh man, I can go on and on. That's right here, New 52 Batman from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. A gigantic fan. It's one of my favorite runs. I cannot stop talking about it. Okay. Yeah, I'd love if they reprinted that too. I mean, I think of a lot of the Batman books I talk about, that Matt Wagner book there, and then honestly, Batman Venom is another one I talk about a lot on the channel that's been out of print for a while that I hope gets a reprint for those that want to check it out. Next artist, I'm going to talk about Chris Samnee. This was someone I was introduced to in the pages of Mark Waid's Daredevil run. But to showcase his incredible work, I wanted to showcase Firepower. This is a series written by Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead and Invincible fame over at Image. Pretty self-contained little book. There's going to be a book volume 2 of this that has the rest of the series. So it finished up sometime last year, but I can't wait for that book 2 to come out to land the plane here. This is just kind of a martial arts, you know, kung fu kind of gnarly narrative. Gosh, but the art we get from Samnee here is just great. It's a little more like heavily outlined, cartoony, animated looking, but it is just gorgeous. I mean, every image here pops right off the page, guys. I cannot speak highly enough about it. Similar style on Daredevil as well. Daredevil's my favorite character, but I didn't want to do too much Daredevil for this video, so I thought I'd go ahead and do Firepower. But yeah, Chris Samnee, not to be missed here. Let's see. Do you have Batman Gothic? You know, I do have Batman Gothic. I think that's Grant Morrison, isn't it? Yep. I got an old printing right here. Batman Gothic. I actually haven't read this in a long time. Grant Morrison and Klaus Janson. Klaus Janson, that's a name I know, obviously, from Frank Miller's Daredevil as well. Yeah, this is a super old collection of Batman Gothic. They've probably reprinted this, I'm sure. But yep, I have that. If you're interested in a review of that, let me know in the comments later. I can see what I can do. No promises, though. What bookcase, what shelves do I have here? You know, that's a really great question. I get this frequently on these live streams. This is, I believe, the Billy bookcase from IKEA. Have a little bit, and it's been fun. Oh, welcome back, Leland. How you doing? You know what? Because you're back, let's go ahead and skip to the Moon Knight book. Yeah, we'll skip ahead. He'll cut in line a little bit. So this is Moon Knight by Houston, Benson, and Hurwitz. Yeah, you'd love a review of Batman Gothic. Awesome. Yeah, I'll try to review that when I can. It's a small book. Hopefully it wouldn't take too long. But anyway, we're going to jump ahead to Moon Knight here. This omnibus, I'm actually still making my way through. I got quite a way to go, as you might be able to tell here. I've read maybe, I don't know, like a fifth of it, sixth of it. This is a really intense, kind of violent Moon Knight run. It's pretty intense, so for people that are a little more sensitive to violence, just be aware. But one of the reasons I wanted to put this up here is we have incredible artwork in these early arcs by David Finch, who is just incredible. I've seen him on Batman as well. I've seen Finch show up in quite a few things. But he's another one that the art is just, like, look at that. Art's just unreal. Love it. Love David Finch's stuff. Yeah, the art in this Moon Knight book is just amazing. And David Finch is only on it for the first, you know, handful of issues or so. But we have a lot of great artists in this book, actually. I've really enjoyed it so far. And I've flipped through it, and, you know, I've read the first handful of issues. Look at that. Yeah, just beautiful. This is another book that once I finish reading it, I will probably review it. But yeah, even if you're not a Nightwing fan, how can you not love, or not Nightwing, sorry. Even if you're not a Moon Knight fan, how can you not love that artwork? Just amazing. Okay, let's see. Let's look back at the comments. Yeah, hard to find Batman Gothic. Yeah, you know, you can find some of these on secondary websites, you know, eBay sometimes, but I know when some of these things go out of print, they're hard to find. I know another big Batman one that a lot of people talk about is Batman Snow. It's kind of a Mr. Freeze story. I used to have it a long time ago in paperback. I ended up selling it, but that's another one that gets pretty expensive. Need to pick it up sometime. Yeah, honestly, that Moon Knight book, so far it's been really fun. Like I said, it's a little more violent, more adult-oriented. But yeah, the art is fantastic. What do you think about Ron Lim? Love it. I'm a huge fan of that era of Silver Surfer. Great, great artist as well. Okay, moving right along. I think I'm caught up on comments. Thanks for everyone coming out. I know it's a Saturday for most of us here, so thank you for making time. Hopefully I'll get more of a rhythm for live streams in the future, but like I said, right now with job and young kids, it's kind of whenever I'm able to. But yeah, moving forward, we're going to talk about Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. Todd McFarlane, of course, the creator of Spawn, a huge part of the founding of Image Comics. But for me, I love his work on Spider-Man. You know, I'm most familiar with his era with David Michelinie writing on Amazing Spider-Man. This has like the introduction to Venom and everything like that. This is a fantastic run that also has a lot of Todd McFarlane art. However, today, why I'm going to be talking about this other omnibus, this one here. This is the adjectiveless Spider-Man, as I know Omar at Near Mint Condition calls it. Just the standalone Spider-Man series that Todd McFarlane did. Why I like this is he writes it, he pencils it, and he inks it. So this is just so creatively Todd McFarlane. It's amazing. Another thing about this book that I didn't know anything about until I picked it up was the fact that I would say this book leans a little bit more horror-centric for a Spider-Man book, which is also not overly common. It's not too gritty, it's not too intense by my opinion, But if you like a little bit of a horror edge in your mainstream comics, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is the run to get. I hear a lot of complaints sometimes that the writing is not the most fantastic, but honestly, if you're comparing it to the art, you're not going to beat that art. I mean, look at the spaghetti, twirly webbing, the experimentation with the panel layouts, the sense of just kind of frenetic action, chaos, movement. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, you know? Really, really cool stuff. Yeah, this is really good. Really good stuff. But yeah, I really dig it. You know, I think for me, it has some really great villains. Like I said, we got like Lizard. I think we got Hobgoblin in here. A couple of the notable appearances I won't spoiler. Maybe a little bit of Morbius. Maybe not. But yeah, like I said, unlike the David Miscellany run, this one is all Todd McFarlane. You have him on inks. You have him on everything. Great book for the artwork. And honestly, the writing, I heard, like I said, negative things about it. It wasn't honestly as bad as I thought. Oops. There we go. See, it fell. Everyone catch that? We're all good, though. Everything's fine. I'm going to go ahead. See if we can put that there without it falling. We will see. Okay, I think I answered the writing question. See, people are getting a little rowdy in the group chat. Let's just be a little bit nice. Let's see. I saw you in the Near Mint Conditions chat earlier. Yeah, love Omar, amazing. That channel is actually the reason I got into YouTubing. I love Near Mint Condition. That just blew my mind. I used to watch that channel all the time before I bought books because I'd like to get a feel for what I was going to purchase. And I just really liked Omar. He was so nice, charismatic, just as a viewer. That eventually I went on and, you know, I started my own channel and I've loved it and I've gotten to know Omar a little bit since then. Just couldn't be friendlier. Really great guy. So I try to do those chats when I can. I love it. That community is amazing. Oh my gosh, we got a super chat. Thank you so much. I'd love to see your Batman Beyond collection. Okay, so unfortunately, I am newer to Batman Beyond comics. I'm a huge fan of that animated series. You know, I grew up during that whole era of those DC animated series. I loved it. Love Batman Beyond. I actually had a chance to pick up the Blu-ray set of that whole that whole series, and it's just been a real joy. But as far as my actual collection of Batman Beyond, I currently only have one Batman Beyond book, and I want to see if I can find it here for you. It's basically the Batman Beyond Neo Year. I found it. Here we go. Hold on. Coming up. Batman Beyond Neo Year. So this is the only Batman Beyond comic I have right now. I am hoping to get that compendium because I know that has a bunch of Batman Beyond comics. But hey, for the super chatter out there, again, thank you so much for the super chat. And here's your request. This is my full Batman Beyond collection so far. I hope it would be more. If you haven't read this, this is really fantastic. It takes place in the world of Batman Beyond, of course. And for me, someone just coming straight off the cartoon, never reading any of the comics, this really was perfect for me. This was really a great way. I think that everything looked and felt like the show, but maybe aged up a little bit. I actually got to meet the writers of this, Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. I've actually met them a couple times now. Go Beyond. Yeah, really cool. They signed it for me. But great story arc. I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but I mean, the art here is amazing. Like I said, there's like a degree of fidelity to this series too as well. We're like easily recognizable characters and character models. But you don't really need to know too much before you dive into this series. And they made a sequel. I think they called it Neo Gothic, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, hoping to get more Batman Beyond in the future, but that is my collection of that so far. Wish it was a little more. What else do we got? Genis Vell Omnibus. Yes, I've got that right there. Got this for my birthday. Reading through it as well. Really fun. Didn't know anything about that character. Really cool. If you're a fan of Rick Jones as well, or Cosmic Marvel, or 90s comics, this has been fantastic. Written by Peter David. Just amazing. Art by Chris Cross. Okay, let's see. You and Omar are such great channels. Wow, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Excited for the Spider-Man omnibuses coming this year. Okay, I am completely overwhelmed by Spidey omnibuses. I don't have like any pre-orders in, but I'd love to get the second JMS Omni. I never had a chance to get that. So hoping to get that. The Brand New Day omnibus from Dan Slott. The Eric Larson reprint for Spidey. That Black Costume Saga, Alien Costume Saga And that's just some of them. Like Ultimate Spidey 4, I mean, there's so many. I'm not even hitting all of them. But yeah, it's a great year for Spider-Man omnibus fans. If I could spend the day with a comic book creator for the day and have a conversation, who would it be? That is such a great question. You know, I wish Stan Lee hadn't passed. I would have loved an opportunity to meet him, of course. Yeah, who would be my number one? Jim Lee, like I said, my favorite artist. I already got to meet him, which was great. I don't know, maybe Jonathan Hickman? Is that, I don't know. I have to think about that. That's a great question. Yeah, very cool that I got it signed. Yeah, my local comic shop, Nowhere Games and Comics over here in the San Diego County area. They were great. They always do signings, great customer service, and I've met them, like I said, a couple times. Highly suggest the Batman Beyond, Compendium, Rebirth, and the New 52 World's End. Okay, great. Thank you for the recommendations. What do you think of Gore as a villain? I think you're referring to Thor by Jason Aaron. Really great in the comics, so-so in the movie, I would say. J. Scott Campbell, great. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Yeah, Jonathan Hickman. Yeah, love Jonathan Hickman. Okay, let's go back to some of the illustrators here. I think I'm caught up on the chat. Thanks, everyone, for staying in and being just a part. It really means a lot to me. Do you collect books from Image? Yes, but my collection is a lot smaller. I mean, in this video, I talked briefly about Firepower. That's my only Image books for this video, but I do have some Image books for sure. Do love Image comics. Okay, let's see. So for this one, this is Silver Surfer by Dan Slott with illustrations by Mike Allred and Laura Allred, the husband-wife duo that Michael Allred does the pencil work and Laura, I believe, does the coloring. They team up on almost all their projects, but they're just incredible. You might recognize this style. I think it's just immediately iconic at this point in modern comics. Love this stuff. Heavy outline, more animated looking, and it has a real pop art feel. And I just love it. I adore it. And setting him loose in Silver Surfer in this cosmic sandbox, just a masterstroke. This collaboration from Dan Slott and the Allreds is a really brilliant run. It's less brooding and philosophic from some other Silver Surfer runs, which I know can be a turnoff for some people. But if you like more of a sappy romance and kind of a fun, sometimes whimsical, sometimes tragic tour of the universe, it's going to be hard to beat this run. Also a really great one-and-done collection. Highly recommend it. Talk about it often on the channel. But easily, Mike Allred, one of my favorite artists. A book I've wanted to read with Mike Allred art is Superman Space Age. I've heard a lot of people recommend that. I know Omnidog Jess has recommended that a lot as well. Have yet to get it. But if you've read that, let me know. I'm really strongly thinking about picking that up. Have you read The Last Ronin? I did read The Last Ronin. I loved it. I don't have that book anymore, but I did really love it. I've heard some people call The Last Ronin like The Dark Knight Returns for the Turtles, and I think that that's pretty aptly put there. It's a really great series. I think if you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's a must read. And even for me, where I'm only kind of casually, culturally aware of the Turtles, I've seen some of the shows and movies, never read the comics, but I was still able to really enjoy that book. Do you think Gore can beat the Silver Surfer? That's a great question. I'm always going to side with Silver Surfer, though. Let's go Surfer. Alex Ross, man. Oh, yes. Alex Ross should have been on this list. Amazing, amazing. Love Alex Ross. For those unfamiliar with Alex Ross, his style looks very painted. It's just beautiful. I have some of his work, though I'm not sure if I have any within arm's reach. And with my little mini microphone, I'm kind of wired up. So I don't think I'm going to be able to show you Alex Ross, but imagine a beautiful, real lifelike painting look, and that's Alex Ross's stuff. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. What else do we have? Okay, so I think we're going to get to the last book I have. Oh, wait, hold on. Also, you should try the Rebirth books of Surfer and Warlock. You know, I've seen those, and I've been curious about it. I read the Adam Warlock omnibus a while ago, and I am a fan of the Surfer, so those might be ones I check out. I appreciate the recommendation. The last artist I prepared for today's video, though, is going to be Tim Sale. He helped illustrate many great things. My favorite, of course, though, are the stuff he did with Jeff Loeb and the Batman properties here. This is an omnibus from DC. I've done a review on this as well. This has The Long Halloween, its sequel Dark Victory. It has Haunted Night, which collects these like Halloween specials for Batman, as well as Catwoman When in Rome and a couple extras. All really fantastic, set mostly in the earlier years of the Dark Knight's history. Long Halloween for me is the main draw for this collection. It's an amazing early era Batman story that has a great detective story. It introduces you to a ton of the Rogues Gallery of villains and just really, really dig it. But let me show you some of the Tim Sale artwork. I just want to show off here. What's fun too with a collection like this is I think even the art we have from Sale in the Halloween specials, which is what you are seeing here, is a little more straightforward. It's still definitely recognizably Tim Sale, but once we get to things like Long Halloween and beyond, he goes even more stylistic, and I like it a lot. So here's Haunted Night kind of stuff. Still really brilliant, but let's fast forward to Long Halloween. So once we get to Long Halloween, you could just see like the Batman, he's a little more stylized. He looks a little more animated. They look a little less human and more of that Tim Sale-esque look. And this is where the art's just off to the races. It is just beautiful stuff. If you have already read this and if you've enjoyed it, but you've yet to read the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale stuff from Marvel, I highly recommend the Color series from what I've read. I loved Hulk Gray, Spider-Man Blue, Daredevil Yellow. I have old paperbacks of those, but I know they came out with gallery editions recently. There's also a Captain America White, which I have yet to read. Yeah, a little bit more of Tim Sale there. Oh yeah, unfortunately we lost Tim Sale in this last year, and that was definitely a big hit to the comic community as far as I'm concerned. Devastated we're not going to get more from that incredible artist. Let me go ahead and catch up with some of these comments. Oh wow, a lot of great comments. Thank you all so much. Let's see. Yep, Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb are such an incredible team. I agree. I'm new to your channel. Do you have any videos on a walkthrough of your comic collection? That is a great question, Lil Time Man 22. I don't have a full collection tour video. I need to do that. I think for a comic book YouTuber, I feel like my collection is smaller, although I am definitely thankful. I have this full bookcase here, and then I have another bookcase on that side of my room. Whoop. And then let's do a quick thing. And then my closet is filled with a bunch of omnibuses and stuff. Anyway, so I'd love to do a full collection tour someday. I have yet to really do it because my comics are like in our room. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to lay it out. Right now, the live stream format vertically, where you just get my bookcase like this, is quite nice. But you know, I do have a little apartment, so I'd love to do a collection tour. I just have to figure out a way to film it all in a way that I think looks good. But if I keep getting requests, I will definitely try to do that for all of you. And hey, new to the channel, thank you so much for coming by. Let's see, really like Ryan Stegman's work, the Kate's Venom run. You know what's so funny? I almost threw that in this video, and because you brought that up, I might just have to. This I read at the beginning of the year, like January. I got this after Christmas. This is really a contender for being book of the year for me. I know I still have like over half the year left, but if nothing tops it for me, this is going to be my pick. I'm telling you right now. The storyline is amazing. The art is incredible. This is another one that I think for longer time Venom fans, it has a lot of great payoff. But even for brand new readers, this can feel like a one and done omnibus. And the artwork we get from Ryan Stegman throughout is it's just incredible. So anyway, I highly agree with that. Love Batman by Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. Agreed. Don't you think Gore would just overwhelm the Surfer? You know, it's really possible. It's really possible. I know the King in Black kind of overwhelmed the Surfer at different periods. So I think very well could. Very well could. Enjoying Batman Long Halloween. Good. Tim Sale. Yep. Amazing. Amazing. George Perez. Yeah, gosh, last year was a really tough year for the comic industry. We lost a lot of giants. George Perez, certainly another really amazing comic artist. Your collection is so awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really thankful for it. I do want to get that Batman Rise and the Fall of the Batman. Yeah, honestly, that is a great... Let's see if I can lower this. Whoop. The comments talking about the Rise and Fall of the Batman omnibus. This is, I think this is DC Rebirth era Detective Comics. This is from James Tynion, the fourth. This is a really great book. This is another one I'm still making my way through because it's gigantic. But this is amazing. And I will say so far, you know, I'm still making my way through it, and I think I already like it better than his Batman run. I think Tynion on Detective Comics here, so far, I think is a little bit stronger. And I will say this book, if you're looking primarily for Batman, this is maybe not the one to get because it's a real Bat family book. Batman's in it, but we have a team of other kind of Batman characters like Tim Drake and Batwoman. Anyway, spoiler, other things like that. Yeah, great stuff. What else do we got? Detective Comics by Tomasi. Yeah, I talked about this briefly on some video recently. This one, along with that Janice Vell Captain Marvel omnibus, were birthday presents from my wife and my kiddos, so still making my way through this as well. But this is really good. I love Tomasi and Gleason's Batman and Robin run. This is just Peter J. Tomasi. Patrick Gleason did not collaborate with this, but still a really good book so far. I'm enjoying making my way through it. What else do we got? Old King Thor by Aaron is great. Absolutely, I agree, 100%. Do you have a mailbox for fan donations? No, I haven't had fan donations yet. Let's see. Diana Camaro is my favorite comic artist. Wow, this is another one that I'm not really familiar with. I'm so happy you're coming in with these recommendations. Gore Became a Universe there. Awesome fight in that book. Yeah, really good stuff. Okay, well, anyway, those are some of the artists I was hoping to showcase for this video today. I have a couple more minutes, though. Does anybody want to talk about anything else? I'm happy to answer questions or try to find other things. Otherwise, I'm going to start, I think, wrapping it up, everyone. But thank you so much, like I said, for making it out. This has been a ton of fun. I had so much fun. And all of you guys who maybe weren't able to make it live, thank you for catching the replay. And stick around, stay tuned. If you like these lives, let me know. And like I said, thank you guys so much. Thanks again for the super chat from that one commenter. Really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. What else do we got? A lot of thank yous. Wow, means a lot, means so much. I was able to get Daredevil by Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada hardcover. I don't have the hardcover. Guardian Devil is a great storyline, though, I think, from Kevin Smith and Joe Quesada, the Marvel Knights Daredevil era. It began its own issue 1 of Daredevil. I have that in paperback, though. Really dig that, though. Really, really like it. Hit the like button. Yes, I always forget stuff like that. Hit the like button. If you're a fan of ordering books online, we do have a channel sponsor, organicpricebooks.com. When this goes on replay, I'll have the link for it in the video description. But if you use my code at checkout, the Comic Book Report, you can save $2 off of your order. If you do make purchases with my affiliate stuff, though, I do earn a small commission. But it helps around here a little bit, so I can keep making free content for all of you. But yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate the likes, comments, and just the engagement. Thank you guys so much. Okay, one more question, and I'll go ahead and sign off here. Thoughts on the current state of Spider-Man and his many comics that are all out at once? I hear that argument with Batman too. I will say I'm a little bit behind on Spider-Man. I'm still reading through like Nick Spencer and some of the Spider-Man Beyond stuff, which I read a little bit out of order. But that's as contemporary as I get with Spider-Man. So I'm still a little bit behind. And as you might see, if you follow my channel, I review stuff all over the place based on kind of what I'm reading. So some of it is the newest releases. Some are just older stuff that I'm just getting to. So anyway, I don't really have a huge opinion on that. I'm just kind of like, hey, if these are still selling, people like the characters, then I'm kind of like, let's keep it going. But I certainly understand oversaturation, and especially if it takes away good creators from other properties that maybe could use a little bit more representation or just great character stories. So many people flooding to Batman and Spider-Man, but I get that. But there's so many other great characters in these universes that I would love to see served and, get some more proper runs. Like I'd love more Iron Fist series. That's a character I'm just starting to get into, and I feel like he doesn't have a ton. Let's see. Awesome channel. Wow, thank you so much. Keep this up. Okay, wow. I'm really thankful for all the compliments. This is so nice, really encouraging. Thank you all so much. Your videos are awesome. People like yourself, Omar, Crushing Crisis, Omnidog, and others have helped me get back into comics. Oh, awesome. I know a lot of those guys. I don't know Crushing Crisis as much, but I've seen him show up on different things across the years. So what are some Marvel DC characters that you have interested in but haven't tried out? Oh, wow, that's another great question. They're definitely out there. I think one of the biggest I hear a lot of great things about is Booster Gold over at DC Comics. That's a character that I've heard, like I said, good things, but I've never really invested in myself. Thoughts on Marvel? Have you read him? I have the Marvel omnibus as well, the kind of Silver Age-y stuff. I'm still actually making my way through that. So I'm just starting to get to know Marvel. His legacy is certainly felt in this Janice Vell omnibus. So I'm getting little bits of him in that. I'm seeing him show up in the Avengers omnibus. I'm in volume 4 of the Silver Age Avengers omnibuses right now. I'm doing a read through of those. And I'm just at the Kree Skrull War, which I've never read, but I'm excited to get through. So Marvel is showing up, certainly. Can't read Spidey since I sold my 60s collection 20 years ago. Oh no! Hopefully you can try to get reprints in Epic Collection or omnibuses or maybe even digital, because some of those are just rad. The Stan Lee, Steve Ditko stuff, certainly it's iconic. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks everyone for sticking around. I'll try to do these again. Sounds like some of you guys like it. Love hearing that. And stay tuned. Stay tuned to the channel, and Thanks again, everyone. Have a great weekend.